Creator up VPN tier list.
Hey guys, how's it going? My name is Tom Spark. Welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be looking at some VPNs and Google search trends, see if they tend to be on an uptrend in terms of traffic or downtrend in terms of search traffic. Now this video is not meant to trash talk, slander, or kind of encourage anyone to harass these VPN providers. At the end of the day, they're all businesses and they deserve my respect for at least starting a business and trying to kind of protect privacy at large. So keep that in mind going forward. I'm just looking at the search results and seeing I think it's kind of interesting to see what VPNs are going up and going down. Are you guys ever worried about getting doxxed? I know I am, and that's why I use a service like Incogni to make sure no one could find my IRL information if they find my name. A service like Incogni goes through all the available data brokers out there like white pages and these different websites. It will tell these websites to remove your information and it saves you tons of time. Use my link in the description down below to get 50% off Incogni as you see here on this website to get this deal. This is my top rated data broker removal tool. It's around half the price of competing services like Delete Me and it has a better interface to boot. So thanks for checking out this one and let's get back to the video. Let's go ahead and start this video. So this video is going to have 5 VPNs that are probably not doing too well in terms of search traffic. So let's go ahead and see what they are. First up guys, let's go ahead and look up TorGuard and see how it's been doing in terms of a company. I myself kind of found that they were kind of going a little bit down in my rankings over time since they weren't really doing too much interesting, at least in my opinion. So let's go ahead and look maybe for 2004 and see kind of how their search traffic's going. So as you can see here, it looked like their peak was around 2015 or so, which is actually quite a long time ago. They really reached a lot of interest back then. They were kind of started their company 2012. Over 3 years, they got very popular, which is pretty good for them. However, since then, they've been in a steady downtrend with a couple of peaks like in 2017. But yeah, they are definitely going down in search results compared to their prime. So probably not the best look for something like them. Let's look up something like ExpressVPN, since ExpressVPN used to also be one of the biggest VPN providers. And I think it's definitely kind of gone down in popularity, at least from my kind of awareness of it. As you can see here, it's actually a very similar graph to TorGuard. It's just always been a much bigger VPN. It had its kind of launch, it went up and kind of reached its peak popularity. This time it was actually in 2022. I remember there used to be a lot of ExpressVPNs back then. And they really kind of reached another peak, but I do believe they sold their company, and ever since then it's kind of been going downhill as well. Definitely not really an uptrend in terms of search traffic. Another VPN that I think will share a similar graph will be something like IPVanish. It used to be one of the most popular VPN providers back in the day. And like I said, yeah, it's a very similar graph here. It reached its peak popularity a couple times actually in the span of a year. And ever since then, it's just kind of been going downhill in terms of search results and just overall interest. Another VPN that used to be pretty big is something like Viper VPN. It was a pretty big VPN back in the day. It'll be interesting to see if you could really, okay, so you can see it. It really does. Can I like look at this period of time? Not really. So yeah, it was actually bigger than TorGuard, Express, and everything like that back in 2014. It really was kind of popular and really competitive with all of them back then. But if you look at the graph, it's definitely smaller. It's really gone down a lot more than a lot of these other ones. It used to be very competitive with some of these, and now it's just like not even really on the map at all. I mean, if you compare it to these ones, TorGuard not much bigger really than Viper in some ways. Maybe look at something like AirVPN, since this one used to be a lot bigger than it is now too. It's kind of stagnated for a long time. Just kind of not really. I would kind of expect it to have kind of a similar graph. Here we see AirVPN. Getting around 6 seems to be kind of its peak, and now it's kind of stagnated around 3. So maybe not as dramatic of a graph, but let's compare it to something like NordVPN, which will kind of be equal to some of these VPNs in the beginning and just completely skyrocket, show you kind of how growth can really be. Look how much difference it will be here at these VPN providers. So yeah, back then I would say 2015 is when all VPNs were kind of in that same competitive marketplace, and that's really where the birth of the channel took off. That's why I started reviewing so many VPNs, and that was kind of like where my channel really started taking off back then as well. And we saw, you know, the VPN tier list was made in 2016 or so. I had like 60 or 70 VPNs reviewed on the channel because a lot of them were competitive with one another. It's not really quite the case nowadays. As you could see, a lot of these VPNs started going downhill. Something like IPVanish was bigger than Nord back then, and look at the comparison now. Nord is ranking 78 in these search results. IPVanish is 10, and Express is something like 25. So you can really see how much bigger Nord has gotten than some of these other VPNs, and I think that can be kind of reflected in the development. Let's go ahead and remove something like AirVPN and maybe add something like Surfshark, since it's a huge VPN too and one of the top ones here on the channel lately. Kind of show you some of the results there. As we could see, Surfshark has also kind of taken over as well, but as you could see, it's not really necessarily going up and then down. It really kind of has just a steady uprise, and has pretty much consistently kind of held that ranking and kind of surpassed other VPNs by holding that ranking. As you can see here, Nord and Surfshark are kind of the clear winners here in terms of popularity. So guys, in my opinion, some of those VPNs you've seen, IPVanish, TorGuard, ExpressVPN, some of these VPNs really kind of had a peak, and then since then have just kind of been going down in search results. I'm not necessarily saying these companies are dying or anything like that, or having financial difficulties, of course. I'm not saying any of that. I'm just showing you the data with search results, and I do find it kind of interesting to kind of observe VPN trends like this over time. Thanks for checking out this video, and I'll see you again very soon.